Hello folks, YouTube pedal nerds. A difficult topic today. Those pedals that do that particular sound. I'm probably gonna wreck the mic. I'm gonna go over there. Yes, indeed. Metal petals. Usually I wear all black when I do a metal pedal review, but I thought this is so freaking eye-melting. It matches the metal. You know, just needs to be and this is very clearly lover boy. So, difficult topic, metal pedals. Big or heavy, high gain pedals. The big problem with this category of device is that it is always a compromise. That is not just what I say. That is what pretty much most pedal nerds say. I talked to Nico, who's also right now, he's a really great German guitar player. And Nico Schliemann, wee, metal. And he's also reviewing these pedals and making killer videos of these. Check him out. Nico Schliemann, you probably can find it on YouTube. He plays with a couple of really big German bands. And he said, you know what, I'm not doing the throttle box because it's not speaking to me. Because when you want a heavy-ass sound, you need to get an amp that can do that. And that is, sadly, the way that it is. I've done a video where I compared 10 different pedals, and they all work fine. Then you turn on the amp, and all of a sudden, bam, there's your sound. It might be the headroom, it might be the attack, it might be the fizzliness. I can't put my finger on it why an amp is necessary for the metal sound, but you definitely are better off using an amp that gives you that high gain distortion than a pedal. A metal pedal is always a compromise. Now, the question is, do we want to spend that much money, I'm looking over at the pedals, for a compromise? Daddario might know the answer. No, actually, they don't. I just have to say Daddario because I want strengths for free. And I'd get that when I say Daddario. The point is, you want that Mesa sound. You want that. We all covet that rectifier sound. So how do we get that? Well, buy a freaking rectifier. Don't have $3,000? Well, what do? I just buy the throttle box. Well, that's one option. The only problem with that is it's a compromise, like any high-gain metal pedal is. These are really good high-gain pedals, I'm going to tell you right away, but they're still not giving you what you really want, that Mesa sound. The problem is, we're looking at about throttle box is at 190 or something or whatever. I don't know, $200. And then the throttle box EQ, which is killer, is $350. But $350 for a compromise. The only problem is that the next step up in the Mesa lineup to really get that Mesa sound, Mesa Boogie rectifier, would be the rectifier mini, the mini rectifier, which clocks in at 1500. So it's not like, okay, now if I spend twice that much right now, you're like way up there, pretty much out of the reach for most of us. And that's a problem. My recommendation to Mesa Boogie would be join the leagues of the small lunchbox amps that can kick ass and make an amp that is called this. What does that stand for? The 1CMM. 1CMM, that's a stupid ass name. Well, it would be the one-channel metal machine. Pretty much give me the one channel from a mini rectifier, make it 15 watts, 20 watts, something like this. Maybe no effects loop, which would be a bummer, but maybe reduce it to the absolute minimum you can do and give me that one channel that gives me what these pedals are supposed to do, but the real deal. Give me the mini rectifier in one channel, super reduced, and make it under €1,000. That way we're still over the EVH 15 watt, EVH 3 or something. We're still in price over some others, but we're under the €1,000 range, which right now we're way over the €1,000 range with the cheapest Mesa amp, which is sadly out of the range for a lot of us. And we're forced to go for these, let's call them compromise pedals. So that was my rant about this. There's going to be a rant about 8-string guitars because obviously we need to check that. The only problem with that is I've played 7-string guitars all my life. Love them, recorded with them, great stuff. Now we have 8 and 9-string guitars. And this is not a criticism to the manufacturer. This is not saying, Ibanez, you make a crappy guitar. This is a limited edition Prestige. We're going to look at it in a sec. It's a beautiful instrument. It's got locking I was gonna say Grover, that's wrong. Goto tuners in gold. The wood, it's got a 85-piece neck. I don't know, this is a 5-piece neck. With a nice volute. Just touching it, it's like, it's a sexual experience. It really is. It's so soft and such a beautiful piece, mahogany with, I'm gonna say, walnut. I have no idea. It's a beautiful guitar. It's a super high-end guitar. This would clock in at probably a little bit over 2,000 euro. So this is not a piece of crap, cheap-ass guitar. This is a good guitar. The higher you go in price, the better your low end will sound. Look at basses. It's true. The problem with this, and I just didn't get any definition from the 8th string. 7th string, fine. As soon as you play the same note and in the 8th string, blah, 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 you get this. Now, some people that I've talked to, and this came from several different directions. I think maybe Devin Townsend said it, but I know someone at Toman said it, and someone else said it, told me too. So from different directions it came. When you play these 8-string guitars, you can't actually play real amps. You need to play virtual amps because they don't have a limitation in the amount of power. Now, bass amps have a lot of wattage. And that is because the lower the notes are, the more power you have to put in to make them sound loud and good. That has something to do with how our ears work, actually. It really does. It's the the Fletcher-Munson curves. Look it up, Fletcher-Munson. I learned that at some point. I could explain it to you, but I don't want to. So the point is, sending an 8-string guitar into the Mark V 25. You would think I have an 8-string guitar, really high end. I have a 2,000 euro Mesa amp. I mean, Mesa, that's the fat sound. You would think this is the... No, it really isn't. You need power. You need wattage. You might need a triple rectifier, which how much watt? 180 maybe. You might need a diesel with, who knows, 200. All these people play Axe Effects, maybe a Kemper. These types of amps that don't have that limitation of power because they're virtual. They can possibly handle that 8th string. A normal setup, transistor amp, tube amp, pedals, is very likely only going to get you farting noises. So that is a warning about the 8 strings. This is a very, very nice guitar, but I'm fighting with it. It's gonna go back to Ibanez. I'm gonna show it to you. Here it is. But I'd rather have them send me a really, really cool Prestige RG 6-string, something like this, that I can actually use more than this. The other problem with this is it comes tuned to E flat. So every time I play a track, I'm going to have to relearn the track a little bit, where I am and stuff like this. So if your whole band is in E flat, that is great. But if you have a normally tuned E track and you pick up this guitar, I'm going to have to adjust everything I just did. So I'm fighting with this a little bit. It is very sexy though. It really is. We're going to start with it because we're talking about heavy S pedals. I'm sorry there's so much preface, but we're dealing with a whole new thing right now, which is the 8-string and heavy S pedals and all this. And I think it is my duty to inform you. I said duty. It's like poopies. Yes, I'm 12. Fuck off. And I'm wearing all freaking yellow. Come on, this is so wrong. If I ever meet the guys from Mesa Boogie, they're like, who is this fuckhead? And why is he, why did he get our stuff? Who gave that stuff to him? So, I'm going not into Mesa amp, because if we want to see how these pedals can give me the Mesa sound, it's stupid to go into a Mesa amp, because then it has the Mesa sound. I'm actually going into a... It's right there, you can't see it. How are we going to do this? We're going to turn the cameras on. I'm going into this amp, right? I'm hitting the Hartung, that's great. Into that Carl Martin amp, which I have positioned in the typical Tim Pierce position, which is just standing it upright. And why not, really? I'm hitting the 5,000 euro Hartung guitar, that's just great. By the way, here are the pedals, and there are the pedals. I have a beef with all of you guys. For a few videos now, I have started to film the pedals in 2 positions, cut them out, go through a shitload of trouble to do this, because I think it's freaking cool. No one else does it, and you get a totally different feel for a pedal when you see it in a, second angle. But we need the top angle so you see the controls. And not a single one of you have commented on that, or, sent me some grapes saying, here are grapes, so you can eat them, because you do good stuff with pedal angles. Or, Coke or whatever, I don't know. None of you have commented on that. So should I just stop doing it? Because it's a shitload of work. Anyway, we're going into the car Martin. On top, in front of the car Martin, because it doesn't have an FX loop, I have a, what's that thing called? Eventide H9 for some tape delay in case we need it. It's going downstairs in the basement into a 112. Hey, 112, you can't get a metal sound with 112. Shut up. It's the best speaker I have, and I've recorded a lot of metal albums with that. Trust me. 112 Fender cab from a Hot Rod 50. Trust me, it is an amazing cab. Recorded with the Sennheiser E609. Here's our clean sound. I don't even know where I am. That's a nice ass amp. It really is. Custom Shop 50 car Martin. So we're gonna start looking at the throttle box. Mesa did everything right on these with the controls. We have a tone knob, which is great. Adjust, high end, low end, or the high end pretty much. We have a gain knob with switchable high and low settings to kind of pre-select your gain range. And we have, that camera is saying not a lot of battery, so we're gonna lose the second angle pretty quickly. That's what you get for not commenting on it. I didn't change the battery. And we have a mid-cut knob, which is just freaking killer. Because that's what you want for those model rock and metal sounds. You want to be able to cut the mids, and that is perfect. So we're going to leave everything kind of up here in the low position and check this shit out. And pretty much we're going to go in the bridge position for 90% of this review. There's a good dose of mids there. So they load a lot of mids into it, and then you can cut them. So all options are yours. It's not very metal-like. I don't even know where I am here. Oh, we want to hear more gain, huh? But it's just farting, really. The 7th string, that's a definition. I'm gonna play the same thing on the 8th string. Do you hear the difference? has some definition. The 8th string, none. See how the mid-cut works. That's actually giving you all the mids back. You could really play some nice leads with the mids all in. It's actually really neat. Now let's cut. Very neat. Let's look at the tone. As far as metal pedals go, it's really not too shabby. But again, all of them are a compromise. It is simply true. I'm going to do the following. I'm going to refrain from using this because I'm just not comfortable on it. It has nothing to do with the quality of the guitar, which is absolutely nice. It has something to do with it having just a string too many. One string too many. I am very comfortable on 7-string guitars. I am even more comfortable on this thing that's now going to feel like a toy because it has 6 strings. Let's listen to this like so. Hartung Embrace Wantage 57. Nice guitar. Let's see if my theory holds true. If we get it all midsy and put some delay on it. F no. No, I want the F. Wow, as a high gain lead pedal, killer! As a rhythm pedal, you have to like it. I guarantee you, I turn on any kind of metally amp, it's going to perform better than a clean amp with a metal pedal in front of it. But let's go ahead and compare the two pedals. Now, the Throttlebox EQ is very, very cool. I gotta admit that, because it gives you a lot of options. It is structured differently than the Flux Drive, Flux 5. If you know the Flux 5, the knobs are different. What we have here is a high level and low level. So this small pot isn't a high trim, it is high level, low level, big knobs. We have a tone knob right here. The small trim pot is a mid cut, which we had here on the other one. We have a boost, which I don't know what that's for because it's got so much gain. Why even boost it? Here is the gain knob, and we have high-low switch to switch pretty much between these two settings that you had here. And for each of the two, you have the option of switching the EQ in or out. So you can say for low and high, no EQ. For low EQ, but not for high, or the other way around. Of course, please pay attention to the fact that this says EQ high. So when you're on the high, EQ is in or out. But here the in is on the right, here the in is on the left, which maybe they did because you're going towards the EQ knobs. User interface design, maybe consult someone that studied that. Okay? I don't know. Maybe that's the way to do it. I have no idea. So, orange indicates low mode, red indicates high mode. It'll sound exactly like the Throttlebox. You can get the same sounds, but a lot more because of the very, very cool Mesa 5-band EQ. As long as you don't go super high gain, this can be a very nice and chunky pedal. Let's check out the mid cut. Some of the qualities that I really like in the Flux Drive and Flux 5 are exhibited here when you turn the mid cut pretty much off. And then you have this kind of quality that the Flux Drive has, this beautiful midsy, pillowy, round warmness. Let's try this with some delay. Seriously, this is neat. It does not like the level. The delay does not like that. That doesn't sound good. Delay is fighting with that for some reason. But that's neat. So we crank up the volume. We crank up the gain first. I just learned that. Cool, huh? Let's see what the boost can do. not too shabby at all. Always remember, it's $350, and it's very likely that if you plug into a Mesa Mini Rectifier, you'd be more pleased, I would assume. So let's go to the high setting. And play around with the EQ, which really can, of course, push your sound into many, many different directions, okay? Remember, you can actually engage that in the low or high setting, which effectively gives you 2 channels in addition to your clean channel. So if you have a good amp with a clean channel, this can give you kind of a crunchy rhythm sound and maybe a screaming lead sound with the mids boosted, which will only be engaged in the high setting, blah, 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 blah. It's still, you know, it's a high gain pedal. It does its job extremely well in its genre, which is, again, as far as I'm concerned, and many other like me, not people in yellow, I mean, you know, guitar players, is more of a compromise than a permanent solution. Oh, thank you for sticking around for a long ass demo with a million things in it. So what's my 2 cents? Well, I've said it a million times in the review already, so you know, Daddario. When it comes to high gain pedals, these give you a lot of flexibility. They are designed perfectly. The mid cut, the tone, the high-low setting on the throttle box really are dead on where they have to be. The throttle box EQ, of course, gives you that amazing Mesa EQ. It gives you different output levels. It gives you that mid cut. It makes any amp, it extends it with 2 more channels. It is a very good pedal. You take it out of the box, it feels great. The finish is kind of like, you know, a million ants ran over it. The relief plate on top, thick metal, everything feels very solid and feels very worth something. So there's no way to say these are not good pedals. This would simply be untrue. The fact of the matter remains, they are high gain, modern rock, that the mid-cut is hinting at that, or metal pedals, and you would be better off looking for that sound in an amp. The only problem is that Mesa doesn't offer anything at, let's say, twice or maybe even 3 times the price. Because if you're looking at getting the Mesa sound in an amp, the cheapest right now you can get is the mini rectifier, which clocks in at, I think, at least 1,500 euro. So my question would be, Mesa, I'm going to be honest, get off your high horse. Give many of us what we want. Give us the 1CMM, the one-channel metal machine. It does one thing. It does the one sound that many people buy a Mesa for. It does it in low watt, so you still wouldn't be happy with the 8-string guitar, because for that you need amps that don't exist. You need virtual amps. Your Helix, your Kemper, your XFX, whatever. But it's worked really well for other companies. It's worked great for Orange. It's worked great for EVH and so many others. See how far you can reduce the features on one of your amazing creations and offer it to some of us who really need it. The kids without money, that would still save up the extra couple of $100 compared to the other companies, so that your logo, the Boogie logo, is on front of one of their amps. I'm gonna really have to edit all this shit now, huh? Loverboy says goodbye.